kids, this is Dark Devil Daddy, and this is probably going to be my longest video for Fortnite. Most of my videos do not contain strategic ideas. They do, but they don't. I mean, okay, of course they do. But mainly, it's kind of a commentary on Fortnite's excitement, especially in the top 10. Now, I want to get through some of the basic premises of my strategic thinking for the game, and there's two things that I draw from primarily when it comes to strategic thinking. The first of which is chess. Mainly, you look in terms of openings, you look in terms of mid-game, and then you look in terms of end-game. And with openings, it's pretty easy to break it down. You can jump fast, land in the crowd, and try and run it from there. You know, basically city landing. You can jump fast and try to avoid the crowd. The other end is jump late and land late, which is incredibly good for outliving opponents in squad mode. And I believe I may start that way just so you can see how many opponents you will outlive typically that way. Or jump late, land fast, and try and get to the really good spot that you want. Typically though, this is not a way of getting into a crowded area. But that is just some opening thoughts. Now, I'm going to get us into some play here. And I want to bring you over to the idea of the Book of the Five Rings. It's a Japanese book on all things strategy. Basically, it was Miyamoto Musashi's book on his two-sword school. I know it's Japanese samurai stuff, but it's very effective. First off, know your weapons. That is the earth element. Know what's in the battlefield. Pretty simple. There's revolvers. There's shotguns. Hey, sweet cheeks. What say ya? I would already had him dead. Here you go, Skippy. But that's how things work sometimes. Now, here goes all the people. They're all ready. There's 97 of us. Knowing your weaponry is not the only part of the earth element. Ironically, one of the things that Miyamoto Musashi makes commentary on in the Earth Scroll is a carpenter knows what he works with. And obviously the other part of this game is building. Now, frequently in a lot of video games, finance comes into play. This is not a high financer of a game. Pretty simple. And bang. And I'm just going to glide a while. So yeah, building is a big part. You have to get skilled. There's certain materials a carpenter will know about. Knotted wood goes on the inside of the wall. Finishing wood is the smaller strips, etc. Knowing how to utilize your people, which is not necessarily as useful in Battle Royale, that comes later. So practice, practice, practice. And actually, you are the gaming machine. So if you're playing and you're thinking, I'm going to get drunk first, you're going to suck. If you sleep well, that helps. Another thing you can do, and this is oddly enough something Musashi himself said, cultivate the arts. Now for me, one of the reasons why I'm a big one for that is, well, I was an art teacher, but it teaches you perception. If you don't know perception, how are you going to get past? Okay. Well, I would like to point out there's almost 30 people dead before I even landed. And that really, oops, there goes some more. That really contributes to, oh wow, goodies everywhere. Love me this house on the hill. Give me the goodies. Yeah. Here's the next thing. Circle. Let's go there. Okay, how do I go again? Oh, duh. And there we are. I have just added to my collection. I have also found things. Woohoo! Now for the downside. I'm probably way out of the zone, but I have made it to about the half point of the game. Not too bad, right? I've already got myself a decent weapon. Shield weapon. Darn it. I probably could have closed that door. Remember to get familiarized with your controls. But yeah, art is great because it teaches you perception. There are other things you can do. I suggest archery. Archery is a great one. Anyone here needing to die? Yep. I got long range, I got mid range. I'm not much of a short range fighter anyway. Oh boy, how am I going to get down this silly hill quick enough? I guess I gotta take the path. But yeah, that gets you through the basics of the Earth book as far as I'm concerned. Basically, know yourself as a weapon, know the weapons around you. Know the weapons of your school and your thinking. What are the tools at your disposal? Positioning, things like that. And that takes us right back to chess, because the first thing is making time in the game. And I made good time. Was I excellent time? Well, not precisely. But my positioning is fair. I know where I'm at. Ooh, hello. I have gotten myself resources. Do I have an abundance of resources? No. Oh yeah, this is a slow-moving part of the eye. And that kind of gets us into the idea of understanding terrain and things like that. And there's my short range. Awesome! Oh, I forgot about that. Have to make use and understand uncommon, which rare. Rare pump. I think I will take that one. Yeah. Anyway. Fire is really kind of the hardest one to discuss without it, but a lot of it is no opponents. Bolt action sniper. I better start moving along here. Whoop, bathroom. Didn't I mention something about knowing your environment? Not so impressive at that moment, am I? Have to really start hustling along here. Someone else has been here, by the way. Oh boy, I hope I can get there. Another thing about tactically speaking is we start getting into the water idea of it. The ebb and flow of battle. In this particular case, I've also got the ebb and flow of the environment, which I hope I can beat because, holy cow, the environment is coming up on me quickly. God dang it. It's not working. Oh well, I'm gonna get to it. Know what the effects of the game are on you, which in this case, obviously, my shields are still here. In this case, I've lost time in terms of chess and kind of positioning to a degree, which I usually don't lose so poorly, but it happens. Uncommon. I don't do grenades well. Oh, I'm just a walking ammo pit now. A certain part of me wants to keep going like a crazy person away from here, but there's another part that realizes that I'm not the only one here. I would like to make what this guy has use of, because hey, I've got a better assault rifle. There's some brass. The question is, camp out here for a moment. Ooh, nice and snaky. Actually get this guy off guard. Ooh, crap. God dang it. Come on.
How's Fortnite?
Probably played by better people than me. Except for I keep getting caught in the storm because I'm babbling to my fans.
Oh, I didn't know we were recording. Hello.
Yeah, this is more of a strategic and
Fire
tactical. And I'm talking about the ebb and flow of Fortnite in terms of the water element. And right now I'm drowning a little bit here. Though I've made it to 12, and one of the things that people will do in this game is very much try and ride the edge of the storm, which...
Are you sure you're not riding the end of the storm?
Unfortunately, at this point, I'm dying for it.
I wish you chipped off your shield like a Zombies Royale. By the way, I really suggest trying that game. It's real fun. It's a lot like Fortnite.
I do not have enough to build. Wow. I'm going to get out of the end game. I am so close, but I am so dead.
It's time for Roblox sound effects.
Oh, come on, come on. Oh, come on. Get to it. Oh, come on! Oh! Now, that was the middle game. A lot of the middle game is beyond the point of landing. It's the point of...
A beeping?
You know, someone letting the dogs out, maybe, I hope?
Probably.
The middle game part of it, the really important part of the middle game, is managing resource gathering, because you need stuff to build with, obviously.
Yeah.
Managing your position on the board so where the environment doesn't kill you, and of course, keeping your movement going. You know, the loot and scoop mentality is a big part of middle game.
Yeah, that's actually what I said for Zombies Royale.
Yeah, I
You
know.
gotta loot and scoop.
And that is huge here. Now we're down to the top 10. This is a lot of times where I begin filming, because this is actually creeping into the end game. It's not the very end game, but this is where building becomes a bigger part, and your stash of ammo, and improving your lot of weapons. And that's a huge part of the earth element of the thing. So those of you who follow, you know, any of the alchemical type things, mysticism, etc., you'll go, well, what's the air element? It's trying to figure out what your enemy does, and that's kind of one of the reasons why you want to see the end game. Because there are different schools of thought, there's different schools of play.
And then there's Smokey the Bear.
There are snipers, there are, you know, quick game fighters, there's people who run the rim, there's people who want to stay inside the ring, you know?
That's personal.
I prefer to stay inside the ring, but as I was talking, I kind of got caught into it. But what the planning is to lead you to an end game, because that's the huge part of chess. That's really a big part of beating combat. What leads you to the killing stroke? And, you know, the Book of the Five Rings, basically everything is, you know, fire. You know, you can come in and come back. You can parry and then attack. We have a person coming up here, by the way, who I think is going to be toast.
Want to hear my thought on why you build in the end game? Dad?
What?
It's so small, all the circle, that there's rather no point of stealth at that point.
Yeah, stealth is pretty much gone.
So that's why you build, because if you build and stay in a fortress, everyone's going to know, well, you're in the fortress.
Yeah.
But if everyone already knows where you're at anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that means that's where your practice comes in. This
Okay.
guy here is going to suffer from...
Why is he running?
Because he knows he's not a good shot. Here comes another person in the background. I believe Heavy Charlie got eliminated.
I
Was
saw
not the same player this guy
he's
was.
shotgun shell, so he may be more of a bomb rusher.
Yeah. One thing I would like to point out, did you notice when Tony here, because, you know, like Tony and I are good friends or something, he was picking up stuff by running in circles, which is fairly effective, running and jumping in circles when picking up. But obviously there are some things that just don't work.
For some reason, I thought he had a revolver. And I kind of like Zombies Royale if they had the color of the weapon actually on the weapon. So like if it was a green shotgun, you would see that kind of glare of green.
Actually on the ground they are doing that now, but on the
Well,
characters
yeah.
they're not.
That's
I'm kind of
what I
glad on the characters they're not, because in reality, if I'm fighting someone, and unless if they have, say, for instance, you know, a master swordsman's sword that's well decorated, you know, obviously in good care, and I have a chance to inspect it and make sure that, you know, the pummel and the blade are all of the same metal as compared to, you know, a screwed-on handle or whatever. Unless if I'm incredibly familiar with these weapons, I'm not going to know what my opponent's carrying. If the guy's got a Remington shotgun versus, you know, a cheap knockoff from a crap country where they actually hate guns, you know, I mean, there's huge differences that can occur. Now this guy here is in that weird last kind of minute. As he's approaching. Oh, you can hear the guns. And that's another thing about this game. When I said use your perception, learn to hear. That's a very important part. A lot of people don't really think about their hearing. Now in real life, you can use anything to your advantage. Smell in this kind of scenario would be important because guns let off a sulfurous smell when they're, you know, being shot.
I hear one thing, I think.
Sure.
I lost it.
A thought fell out of your head.
You know it's happened to you too.
It happens to me on a daily basis.
No, I'm talking to your fan.
Oh.
So, don't write any smirky comments, Buster.
My fan. Thanks. My singular fans.
Sorry.
Yeah, put a shout out here to tell my son exactly how many fans I've got. I think there'll be 3. No, I've got more fans than that, but they don't necessarily watch my Fortnite videos.
Have you do you actually remember any of your fans' names?
Yeah, but that's one of those things I'm not sure if I feel like I should be releasing because I know them by gamer name. And
well, I think you should throw out some shout-outs. Because people like that.
Well, write in if you want a shout-out. Because I really don't feel comfortable saying it unless, you know, you ask for it.
Yeah, my channel... You know, I don't really have experience with this thing, so my channel is friendly.
My channel's friendly.
Like, kid-friendly.
Not that friendly.
So, I need to not necessarily shout out everyone. So they might do something bad on their channel, and...
Yeah. Yeah, but if,
you know.
Oh, heck, even if you want to say, hey, watch my channel in the notes, I'm okay with that. And I may even give your channel a watch. I may even put a subscription down for it, because I'm that kind of guy. I like taking a look at what other people do. Which, again, goes back to that idea of...
This?
Strategy.
Spectating. Actually, if you look at a lot of these guys, they don't have more than 1 or 2 kills.
Yeah, because they stay to the end.
Yeah.
A lot of them hide it through. I mean, in the exception, I think, what was it? You got 3rd place that one time?
I think it was
on
like
this?
3rd or 4th or something.
Yeah, and you had like 7 or 8 kills.
Yeah.
I do see that. I mean, I watch enough of these end games.
A couple.
And I share a lot of these end games so you understand end game. Ooh, come on, buddy. The tower. Why were you not looking at the tower? When someone builds a big honking tower, you keep a look on it. And was that a laser gun, by the way?
No, that was a sniper. I'm guessing it's a sniper laser.
Ooh!
Shot in the back. No, wait, no.
No, it was sniper number 2. So this is a game of the 2 biggest sniper builders.
It's 2 towers. It's the 2 towers, huh?
Yeah, it's like a Lord of the Rings thing.
No, I meant that poem. It's 2 cities, it's 2 towers.
Oh, Tale of Two Cities?
Yeah, Tale of Two Towers, huh?
Actually, this reminds me more of the movie Enemy at the Gates, which if you've never seen it, it's a really cool movie. Not for little kids, by the way. It's a World War II Russian versus German sniper battle. I have never really seen one go to sniper battle like this before. Usually someone at this point has thrown out a rocket-powered grenade.
Or a role-playing game.
Oh, dude, don't... Now, there's another little thing that someone should know. Yeah, you shoot at the base because the whole thing will drop. However, this guy may have abandoned his tower.
I think he did.
I would have.
That's what it looked like. No, I saw a flash of it. Yeah, he's still in it. He's an idiot, apparently.
No, maybe not. But the thing is, if your strategy is not working, don't continue it. And I don't believe this is going to work for him. I may be wrong. Obviously, he got further than I did.
I see him.
Ooh. This guy is stuck on sniping. There's some people who love sniping.
His tower, just once you get past a certain point, he can't really snipe.
Oh.
Go! It's one of those things.
Cool.
I've not really seen one of those things.
Awesome. I have to say that was a pretty wicked ending.
Yeah.
Because this person actually did what I said. When the situation changed, they found an opening.
Yeah, you have to be not like the dinosaurs, be like the crocodiles when you have to understand your time and make sure you don't stay outside where the meteors could hit your head.
That doesn't really apply as well as you'd think. But, anyway.
Not here to say things that make sense.
Again, honestly, if you really want to improve in your game, I will go back a few of the suggestions. Look in terms of the opening, middle, and end game. You can apply the Book of Five Rings, where you look in terms of the 5 spheres of strategic thinking, where you get to the knowledge of the subject, the emotion of the subject, the passion for the subject, other people's knowledge of the subject, and finally the state of nothingness when you act without even thinking, the Zen state.
Ooh,
to build yourself.
Playing.
Yeah, well.
Ooh, free stuff.
Back further to what I was talking about, though.
When I say free, my... Sorry.
Please. Learn to improve your perception. Draw. Look at things. Understand them. Take up a sport like archery, where targeting is part of it.
Not archery.
Practice this game. If you want to be the best at this game, practice this one. Most and most and most. I mean, there's no way around that. And finally, make sure you're physically sound. If you're sleepy, you're not going to do as well. Practice it perfectly. Make sure every time you get in. Don't drink a bunch of sports drinks, by the way. They'll just make you hyper and jittery and generally give you a heart attack or make you fat. I mean, they're just not good for you. But
wait.
Lots of water, good healthy food, lots of sleep, and then actually do it right. Anything you want to add before we go? Because you actually get really far.
Said free. So that my mind instantly, like, I have this free radar, like, ding.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah, he spots the word free quicker than I spot targets on the field. So there you have it. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and goats out, my friend.
Goats out.